Hi, I'm Naomi Greaves. Welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to actually address some questions that some people may have. Like, I'm applying for remote jobs, but I'm not hearing anything about it. What is it that could be preventing me from getting a remote position? Well, there's a couple things that you may have to take in consideration if you applied in the past and you've either been disqualified or you haven't heard anything from an employer. So, one thing to consider is, could it be where I live? Some states, companies just don't align with, meaning their labor laws. So, for example, some people may not employ candidates that may come out of states out of like California or Colorado, sometimes New York or even Arizona, due to the fact of specific labor laws that are specific for those state residents. So that could be something that could prevent you from being considered as a candidate for that particular job. Another thing to take into consideration is maybe if you're an international candidate, does that company offer employment for international staffing? If not, then again, that could also be something that is disqualifying. Another thing to take into consideration is radius. When you apply, some companies take a look at a radius or a location to a main office. Even though you're applying for remote work, you may have to be within some companies may have a 50-mile, others may have 60. There are a few that may have a 100-mile radius, but you have to be within a certain radius of an office or a hub. And if you are outside of that, that may be a disqualifier as well. Finally, if you do apply and you may or find a position that's kind of interesting, um, and you want to have more clarification if this is something that you could be considered for, you'll always want to research that company. Look them up. See if you can get a hold of someone in their HR department to ask these specific questions that may impact you as a potential candidate. Of course, all employers are going to be equal opportunity employers, meaning they're going to encourage you to apply. But then a recruiter will look at your resume and will determine whether you're a candidate that can move forward in the interview process for consideration or may disqualify you. If a recruiter does look at your resume and decides that maybe you're not going to fit the criteria for that position, you can ask specifically, what is it that this employer is looking for? Is it because of where I live? Could it be that they are just want a specific radius? They can answer those questions for you specifically. Now, granted, I am not an employment attorney and I'm not an HR specialist. So if you want to know more about whether or not you live in a state that is able to be considered for remote work outside of where you live, or you would like to know more about any potential positions for remote work, definitely reach out to those companies that you may be interested, and also check out your state and federal labor laws for more specific information. Thanks so very much for watching. Have a great day.